Thank you. So a little bit about me. My name is McAthy. I'm CEO of Knows Attribution. I've been working for 14 years, and I used to be a marketing consultant for enterprise. I ran an agency for a bit. I then started my own consultancy, and I worked in-house. So I've covered all the bases. I saw someone at a conference a while ago say, in my career, I've managed £20 million worth of ad spend. I've done well over £1 billion because I worked for some massive companies, and we had like £300 million a year to spend, which meant at one point I bought the logout page on Facebook for £30,000 a day. I didn't even know that was a thing you could do, but for £30,000 a day you can buy the page when everyone logs out. And a lot of people do log out of Facebook, even though no one in this room probably knows how to do that. So there are three things that we talk about at Cubes. So Cubes is a marketing attribution platform, and we help businesses understand what they're doing and the truth in what they're doing. And hopefully by the end of this, you understand a bit more about that. But there are three words that are incredibly important in analytics, and these are the three, surprisingly. So the top one is making sure that marketers are accountable for what they're doing. It's making sure that from a data perspective, everything we say and do is actionable. It's completely pointless having numbers for numbers' sake. And the last thing is helping understand what success looks like. And there's been a number of speakers today that have said this is what success is. The majority of the time, success means money into the company. But for some companies, just having a lead is the only thing that they can actually track accurately, because then it goes off to another part of the business. So understanding what success means to that organization is incredibly important. So I always ask this question just because it's good for me to understand where the room is. Who here knows what attribution is? Cool. So and then there's probably 10% that don't put their hands up. So about half the room understand what it is. Who here runs attribution modeling right now? That's exactly what I was hoping. Cool. And for you, when's the last time you actually made a change in stuff you were doing because of what the attribution model said? Fantastic, awesome. We'll have a chat afterwards. Because I go to conferences and like half the audience will say, yes, I know what it means, and then there'll be 10% that say, yes, I'm doing it, but what they actually mean is they do Google's multi-channel, which isn't really attribution at all, it's just their attempt at trying to get their numbers right. Cool, so for the people who don't know what attribution is, this is what Google tells you it is, because this is what's in GA, and all of these are wrong, so it's okay for you not to have to worry about them, because the one that you get in the basic version of Google Analytics is the one at the top, which is last click, which they very small font say last non-direct click, and what they mean is that because they make all their money through AdWords, they'll steal all of the value from AdWords and pull that into AdWords to make you pay more for people. So the other option there is the last time that someone comes to your website, that's where all the value goes. So they come to your website 4 times, and the last one is where you make that £100. That £100 is associated with the last thing they do. Now, all of these other scenarios is basically how you distribute that money around that 4 visits. So on the second one down here, you've got the first click. That's where that £100 shifts, and it's the first thing that happens. And display agencies tell you that this is the way you should be doing things. They're wrong as well. This one here is distributed. This is the parents' approach. So you've got 4 children, and you're going to treat them equally. So you'll give them all £25 instead of that £100. Who gives their kids 25 euros? Sorry, I'll say euros. That's wrong as well, because you don't treat everyone equally. That's a really poor way of doing things. The bathtub model, where you say the start of the journey, when they've discovered our brand, is really valuable, and we'll ignore kind of the middle people, and then at the end we're going to put a lot of money. Again, that is wrong. And then you go, well, it's really important. The people who have come recently, they're the ones that are the most important, and as they go further back, they become less and less important. All of these are wrong, in my opinion. So when I approach attribution, and I've been doing this in Excel 7 years ago when it was called multi-channel analytics, the only way to do this properly is to use your data to understand how your customers are interacting with the things you're currently doing. And that will create a form of curve. This one is the best indication of it as a general fact, but it depends on the lag, what type of activity you're doing, how quickly people purchase, what kind of messaging you're currently using, and it will change constantly. There is not a static number that you can say the first interaction needs, the last interaction needs, and the middle one needs. Now, this slide I presented 7 years ago, and I haven't changed it. I've just changed